Expanded pandemic era food benefit will soon expire, leaving many seniors vulnerable. As if this isn't something that we should know, among many other issues that have been at the forefront of this pandemic. And so a lot of times people ignore or they don't think about how the elderly and the senior and older people are being affected. Um, we talked about, kids and school and people in their professions and working class people, how they've been affected. However, we have not really looked at, how elderly people are being affected, and they are, unfortunately. And so it is saying here, Stephanie Esmakos, um, Simicos, so some states are quietly unsetting emergency food and nutrition benefits. Um, sunsetting, it says sunsetting. Um, I said unsetting, they're getting rid of or quietly taking away or pulling back on the benefits, food programs, because a lot of people that when they reach a certain age and you're in retirement, if you're not making supplemental income to what you have, which is fixed income, it puts you in a situation where you're more vulnerable. So it leaves the countries, uh, now what you call the elderly population in food insecurities, particularly older adults. And so it's a precarious situation. The passage of the American Rescue Plan extended 15% increase in supplemental nutrition assistance program. It was commonly known, or is commonly known as the SNAP program benefits, from June through the end of September, but some recipients will have seen their benefits expire a lot earlier, as many governors allow the state level emergency declaration to expire, which are needed to get an extra pandemic aid. And so the reduction, either now or later, will especially hurt poor senior citizens. And so the drop for many households will be quite steep. AARP Foundation President Lisa Marsh uh, Ryerson told Yahoo Money, any change will have a direct impact on older adults' financial situation and budgeting and their ability to secure essentials. And certainly food is one of the issues. And so the rollback of the benefits means that some individuals will see their financial aid dramatically drop as much as $234 each month, down to about $16, the minimum payment for a single person household pre pandemic, according to AARP, with the reduction increasing for larger low income households. And so, older Americans that are on fixed incomes, if they are not able to uh, have money set aside, or if they're by themselves, oftentimes is the case, are on fixed incomes, and it is harder for them in terms of the stress that they go through and having food to eat. So food insecurity compounds with the financial stress of millions of older adults 50 and older were already struggling prior to the pandemic, and has only increased according to the study from the AARP Foundation. So Marsh Ryerson called the pandemic a perfect storm for older Americans, and history has proved that seniors disproportionately struggle greater in the aftermath of economic upheaval than other age cohorts. And so older adults, it takes them longer to recover from the job loss, longer to be reemployed, because there's ageism. A lot of times employers will pick a younger employee over an older employee, and a lot of people don't know this, but it's because they look at your age, they look at the health history, or they take that into account, what you do tell them, what you might not be telling them. And then if you get hurt on the job, there may be more chance of that happening. They look at all of these things, but people don't understand that when you reach a certain point of age in life, that you get discriminated based on your age. And so you'll go through some issues with trying to even get a job because of age. So Marsh Ryson's called the pandemic a perfect storm for older Americans, and history has proved that seniors disproportionately struggle greater in the aftermath of the economic upheaval other than their age cohorts. So for older adults, it takes them longer to recover from job loss, longer to be reemployed, and when they are reemployed, um, that job is pay is not at the same level as that they were receiving before. And so Marsh Ryerson said so SNAP benefits are crucial for low-income seniors who have suffered these job losses. So SNAP acts as a lifeline to keep 1 in 7 older adults who report that they have food insecurities out of poverty. So Marsh Ryerson explained, but the enrollment numbers aren't reflective of how many could benefit. Only 48% of eligible seniors enroll in the SNAP program, compared to 86% of eligible adults 18 to 59 years of age. And so the application barriers are real burdens for older adults, Marsh Ryerson said. So there's a reluctance to provide private information, and some ailing health, low literacy levels, and social isolation, or a lack of internet access place limits on what seniors are capable of doing, she says. And so you also have certain individuals in communities are also carry a false perception that their benefit amount wouldn't be significant enough to be helpful for them. And so, however, data shows that the average SNAP benefit for eligible adults age 50 and older is 142 per month. So SNAP benefits that are show that older participants who received the extra benefits saw much greater effects on food security than those receiving the normal amount. So education and outreach are paramount in addressing the problem that is hidden in plain sight. And so Marsh Ryerson said, emphasizing that there's something to be gained from providing older adults access to tailored information with user-friendly tools to meet their needs. So AARP Foundation proposal is one universal application that simplifies and integrates benefit support for older adults, so applications can be used for multiple social welfare programs, including SNAP, Medicaid, and rent and utility assistance as well. So many older adults are either in poverty today or slipping into poverty, and that's so being with the pandemic going on. And has escalated, exacerbated with this ongoing pandemic, Ryerson says. So we lose if we discount older adults and their contributions to the community, so we can't leave them behind. So that's pretty much the article. A lot of people don't realize that older adults are being affected by all of this in many ways than one. And so having the limited amount of income and then usually food insecurities are the big issues for older Americans. And so and then, a lot of times when I've heard older people say that they did get the shot because they were afraid because of their age, having already pre-existing health issues, or maybe they're worried that their health issues will be exacerbated because of this pandemic, that they could come in contact with someone who may be infected. So a lot of times it hurts because they might have had to, like limit their exposure to people. So maybe they work from home, or they try to do something where maybe they don't really work from home. Maybe they work less hours. Maybe they work in person, but they work less hours because of what's going on. Or maybe they did have job loss altogether. Maybe they had health issues that might have been something that resulted from what's going on, and that keeps them at home, and so they rely on these benefits So that could be it's different issues, and so um, everybody's income level's not the same. You know, a lot of times I hear for the poor seniors, they're on a fixed budget, and when they do go back to work, they work like a number of hours to supplement their retirement because the retirement doesn't carry all the way out, or it's not enough to pay their rent or their bills. And that's why you'll hear about a lot of food insecurities where they don't have a lot of food to eat. um, so having said that, I'm gonna let this video go, but a lot of times people don't think of what it's like when you start to age and you're no longer able to do the same type of work that you did when you were younger. Your hours are shorter, or maybe you can't work those same professions, so you have to think about what you're gonna do that is less taxing on your body. Maybe you realize that your pay has dropped because of your age, or they're offering you a retirement package, but then you end up having to go back to work for a number of hours to supplement that retirement income because it's not enough to carry you out. So anyway, I'm going to let this video go, but that is something to think about, that's what's going on also with older Americans. And so it isn't as easy as people think it is to just, when you get a certain age, you can just sit back. It used to be where people would say, oh, I'm going to retire. I'm going to retire at 62 or 64. And now the retirement age, I hear, is supposed to be moving up even more, and most people may not even live to get to that age. Um, Especially now with what's going on and when they're saying life expectancy is a lot shorter because of the pandemic, or because of the, the levels of sickness and the things that are happening to people right now currently. So I'm gonna let this video go. It's just sad because it's like I would say a domino effect on everyone, no matter how young or how old. It's a domino effect.